good, because welcome to Strength Hammer, episode 11. The,
Enter the Fist.
Yeah, the first real podcast. We got Matt. Say hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
We got Neil. Say hi, Neil.
Hi, Neil.
And we got Dave. Dave, say hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Okay, perfect.
Hi, Dave.
Yeah, okay, in all seriousness, Matt Hayward, Neil LaRocca, and David Roque. Let's do some introductions for David, because I think you're the unknown quantity. You're our number one listener, apparently, by metrics that you stated earlier before the.
That's right.
Let's. Why don't you let the fine folks out there, namely yourself later, because you're going to listen again still.
The kids have genuinely requested that they get to listen to this. So.
Okay. Your kids. That's doubling our audience, and also all of our
swears to a minimum.
Okay, man. I'll tell you, I'm glad you brought that up, because I had some really raunchy Brush for Hire advertisements in the wings, and I'll have to wait till next week.
Okay, we'll keep it family friendly for David's child's children.
Oh,
Child,
like
how many?
Children.
Children. Okay.
Child.
Childs. Actually, well, why don't we give a quick shout out before you introduce yourself, Dave? Shout out to your kids. Go ahead.
Hi, Emma. Hi, Tommy. If you're listening to this, I'm probably right there. And so now you're hearing me from multiple directions, and it's very confusing.
Ooh.
Go to bed.
Eat your veggies.
Yes, the internet is telling you to listen to mom and dad.
Yes, it's important. But yeah, Dave, why don't you let us know where you're from, what you do, why you're here, who you know.
And your social security number.
Credit card and the street you grew up on.
I inherited my social security number from Mr. Burns. It's 2. I mean, as far as any gaming is concerned, I'm from Akron, Ohio. I originally came from Pennsylvania, so I know the proper name for carbonated sweet beverages made by Coke and Pepsi. They are soda, not to be confused with pop, which is just bursting balloons.
Or soda pop.
Oh, God, no. And my brother lives in Atlanta, where everything's just Coke. You order a Coke, and they ask what kind. So back the weekend Age of Sigmar came out was the weekend I decided, you know what, I want to go to a game shop and see what this Warhammer stuff's all about. So started to really enjoy the game, found that I couldn't get enough opponents. I couldn't play as much as I'd like, and Neil had stopped by the shop one time, started talking about this Ren 4 club, and so I've been there from just about the beginning, watching it grow, and it's been a great ride with this Age of Sigmar stuff.
You know, Neil never shuts up about that Ren 4 stuff. And the one thing I hate is when someone just constantly pushes an agenda and keeps talking about the same thing over and over and over again. That said, tonight's topic's all about Tirathi.
I was going to say Brush for Hire.
Brush for Hire. Now that'll come later. I'm sorry.
Brush for Hire. Eat your veggies.
Because Brush for Lower was taken.
Oh, that's a good one. Anyway, please continue, Dave. Your tale.
I guess I started with the hated Stormcast, just because no one seems to be a real big fan. But over time, I started buying the Seraphon, and I told my wife it was because Tommy liked him, because he was like 3. I took him into the shop, and I was like, "Oh, Tommy, see the set with the dinosaurs?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I gotta get these now." So I got into Seraphon pretty heavily for a while, and just recently I started to transition into the Beastclaw Raiders. So I'm painting some of the big dudes.
Excellent.
I now have
the Seraphon to finally get good. Huh?
That's right. I also have on my table here 180 Noblars that I'm starting to paint up, because the army can't be all about the big guys. It's got to be about the terrible little ones that will do nothing all game, every game.
I want the most elite army in the game with as many models as humanly possible.
Yes. Yes.
It's that's gonna be a good slow play army right there.
That's going to be something. Yeah. Figure I just need one movement tray for each unit of 60, because like once you attack it, it's like, okay, they're gone.
Did your unit 18 inches away look at this unit? Yeah. Okay, let me just remove it. All right.
Did your glance even pass over it briefly? I mean, that's really all it takes. But yeah, that's my gaming story. It's I'm a one man or one game Warhammer player. I briefly dabbled in 40K and decided that was just definitely not for me.
Yeah, something about Ohio just seems to not care about the space program at all.
Space Force.
So whenever
Space
you did
Force.
go into 40K, what army did you delve into?
I had attempted Tyranids back when I thought, oh, this thing where they have great melee weapons is probably worthwhile, only to find out that no, that was a complete and utter mistruth.
Well, you should. Do you still have them?
Nope.
Okay, let's say because the new edition change. Boy, that melee is looking a lot better in 40K, which is really interesting. Yeah. But we talked. We talked a lot of 40K last time, so we won't go too deep.
The melee is going to be a lot
time-
better with these guys.
War Machine.
That's true.
Space.
That's true. Murderhorn is a fantastical creature. But yeah, so we're back. I don't remember the last time we recorded it. It's been a while because the world's weird, but we're all surviving. And I just figured we'll do a little catch-up today, talk about some news. And I'm sorry, the audience can't see it, but Matt just yawned. Are we boring you, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Get to the good start.
Well, let's go through and we'll do our typical what's on your hobby table, and we'll do the fitness check-in. So, Matt, why don't you start with us today?
So I have actually been painting a little tiny bit.
Ooh.
First time since when was the last Ren 4 tournament?
December?
Remember the time before this?
Oh yeah, that's right. I couldn't go to December, so last summer was the real
it's
last
literally-
time.
That's the
it's-
age of pet.
It's been almost a year for us.
Yeah. So, anyways, I got the Dreadfane Warhammer Underworld set a while ago, and I wanted to try my hand at the Lumineth painting scheme. So I figured that the Stormcast would be a good avenue for that. It doesn't really look anything like the Lumineth, but it still looks like a pretty cool scheme. So we got that, and then after that I'm going to start on the Unmade. See if I can pump those out in a day.
You're going to contrast those ones?
Oh yeah. Contrast is my right arm at this point.
What about your fitness? What's going on with your fitness?
Well, like I said, working at home.
Mental fitness is good then.
Yeah. Well, with working at home, the desk load has alleviated a little bit. And basically, we're at the point where everyone that needs help has it, and we're just waiting for more people to need help. So it gives me more breaks during the day. So I'm actually in my office now, where I have a decent amount of open room. So I'm actually taking my breaks during the day, and I'm able to do some sit-ups and push-ups.
Nice.
It doesn't necessarily help with painting, but
Yeah. It does because it'll make you live longer.
yeah, but then that means I have to paint more minis,
Yes.
I
which
gotta
is only
say-
gonna actually just gives me more time to buy minis. So all it's gonna do is lower my total percent painted.
Okay.
And
You've gotta-
you're getting extra difficulty points since you're trying to do push-ups, and contrast paint is your right arm. So that's really
Yeah, I get a lot of complaints about the carpet. That's not. But I'm like, it's highlighted and low lighted in one push-up.
That's right.
Just see,
What more could you ask for?
I just see you in there just dumping contrast paint pots all over yourself and doing push-ups and just making art.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. As I sing, pour some contrast on me, and
Yep. Perfect. Well, no, that's great. Tell you what, let's go to our special guest, Dave. Since we already know you're working on some big beast boys. What else is on your hobby table besides what you said before? Anything specific? Are you dry brushing any terrain?
Well, not right now on during but yes, I'm trying to get some more terrain done. I've got some Ren 4 terrain to do, as well as some for my own table in the basement, which I built as quarantine was happening. So that was fun.
Saw those pictures. They look really good. It's a really nice table.
It was fantastic. And I also do have a backlog of Seraphon stuff that I had acquired secondhand that all needs a lot of attention. So I have a million things that I could paint, and I have spent virtually no time painting. So I'm a little behind.
What about your fitness? Are you doing anything? I mean, you were supposed to run at least 5 miles before you got on this podcast, right? Neil told you that?
Like, in my lifetime, or
okay,
we're going for lifetime achievement award here, right?
I technically didn't qualify that, so good.
So then I'm good. Well, so actually, I had about 2.5 weeks ago joined Weight Watchers, so I am starting the process. I'm in that brief time already down 11 pounds.
Nice.
I'm walking a ton, and I am really watching what I eat, which is a huge shift for me. Like I've got to be eating 1,000 calories less every day than I had been, which makes an enormous difference.
Does Weight Watchers track your food for you? Like,
so
is it like?
I think it's a point.
Is it like Power Level for food?
Yes.
I'm serious.
For the most part, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
For the most part, yeah. So if I want to know something that like I can scan the barcodes and whatever, and then it just boils it down to a single value. Or if that doesn't work, I can input all of the stuff, and it'll tell me what that single value is. So yes, Power Level is a fairly appropriate way of looking at it.
Okay.
Except it's obviously for a lesser game. I mean. But yeah, so I've lost a ton of weight. I have started some physical therapy for my achy back. So I'm doing exercises to strengthen my core as well. And so I actually have fitness stuff I can talk about.
That's all good stuff, and especially the strengthening your core to alleviate your back pain. And I really want to get you off Weight Watchers and just teach you how to track your stuff through a free app, so you don't spend money on Weight Watchers, and develop an even better relationship with your food.
How else is he supposed to meet Oprah?
I don't know.
You get a diet, and you get a diet. Everybody
it's-
gets a diet.
Whoever eats the most points in a month gets to meet Oprah.
All right.
That doesn't work because I used to be in the running for that, I'm sure.
Gotcha. Well, that is great to see. The more friends that are doing fitness, in my mind, the better, because everybody gets to live longer. No one gets to get sick with this giant pandemic going around. Okay, well, I mean, people still get sick, but you're less likely to get sick.
I'll take it.
Perfect. Well, we feel like we've been ignoring Neil already, and we're only 14 minutes into this podcast. So,
Well, don't tell him.
Just saving the best for last.
oh, me? Because I haven't gone yet.
No, you don't really count, Chuck.
All right, fair. The best for last. Neil, what's your hobby table? What's your fitness?
I have been working on terrain, as I've been for like last 3 months, slowly putting together terrain. Part purchasing. I've bought things
Counts.
recently. I bought Matt's things. Matt used to have things, and those things are now mine.
Listen, I'll tell you what. You are going to open that box, and you're going to be like, "Oh, dingity doo! These Beast Kings or Blight Kings are the most awesome posed Blight Kings ever." And you're
Worth
gonna
at
love
least.
them.
I feel like I got a deal then.
Listen, I have to warn you, Neil. The last time Matt gave me models, it was 3 Slaanesh chariots. All right.
Yeah.
Don't trust whatever he puts in that box because it's going to be a nightmare.
It's in the box.
What's in the box?
No, like I said, I mean, so it's 20 Blight Kings, and every single one looks 100% different from all the others.
It's because they each have a third arm glued in a random spot on the body.
Right on the
Well,
face.
so as rollover from fantasy, in fantasy you could go one-handed weapon and shield, two-handed or dual wielding or two-handed weapon. And now they just have blighted weapons, so you could do whatever you want. So there's actually like one guy that just has 2 shields.
I like it.
I want a refund.
No refunds.
So I've been doing that. The other thing I have been doing is I'm working on a super secret project for an event day that is coming up, which actually everybody in here, well, eventually Dave hasn't been on any of the calls yet, but
He doesn't.
we're plotting
Yeah,
and
Dave.
scheming
Where were you
a
last
brand new event.
I had a D&D night. Like, I never played D&D, so I'm a month into my first
That
ever
requires
campaign.
friends. Don't even pretend.
I found it on the internet.
So, Neil,
I just I pull up someone playing on the internet and I just play along.
Neil, this super secret. What can you reveal to us, to the audience? Because I guess we know.
So, it will be sort of kind of a new way to imagine playing Age of Sigmar in an event that I certainly haven't seen before in any kind of event. So it will be narrative focused, but always, there's going to be aspects of match play with points and things like that. But how much do I want to say?
I know. I think I have to stop right there. That's a good tease. That's a good tease.
Yeah. We'll wait to the big reveal. Throw a little teaser out there. Whet the appetite a little bit for people.
See, this is going to be like the Lumineth teaser. You're not going to talk about it for another 6 months.
This is actually that's pretty appropriate because this is I'm planning this for a year from now. So hopefully we'll be post all of this junk, and it's going to give me a long time to really work on this. And so I'm going to put a lot of effort into this, and I think everybody here on this podcast will be along for that ride as well. So look for good things in about a year, next summer.
Very much so. What about your fitness?
I had been running quite a bit up until the summer here, and my kids and my wife. My wife last year did a Peloton, so she is deep into that again. So I've dusted off the old road bike, and I've been biking a little bit more. My butt hurts for 3 days after I ride the thing because the seat is about this big. And I found I have no more muscle left on my ass for some reason. I don't know when that happened, but apparently it's gone. So.
Oh man, when'd you stop squatting and deadlifting? Come on, you gotta get that.
I guess 2 years ago. Yeah.
You need that thick wargamer booty.
Got to get that squat booty. Yeah.
Yep.
But that's what I've been doing recently. So.
Oh, nice.
Jeez, I stopped squatting and deadlifting 20 years ago. Get with the program, Neil. Come on, man.
Let's see. I guess we'll go to the second to best last to me. I don't know how to say it. Neil's still the best. Neil is still the best. So my hobby table, I assembled all the wonderfully and generously donated 3D printed terrain for Nova by Anthony Polcastro. He went above and beyond, and there's a lot of terrain in my basement right now. Although I don't know when it's going to get painted because I guess part of the news we're technically behind on. Nova Open has been canceled this year. So
That's what they want you to think.
well, the Nova Open charity raffle is still happening. So if you search Nova Open Charity Foundation, I think the end of this week, so tomorrow, as time of this recording, stuff will be going up. So you can still do that, still help raise money for charity. But I do want to put out a quick PSA with Nova Open. Being a fully charity event, they make zero profit. Once costs are covered, everything goes to charity. So it puts them in a bit of a harder situation than, say, Adepticon or really any other event. So there is a possibility with folks who have signed up that if the majority of folks don't reach deep down into their hearts and donate their ticket entry fee towards Nova to help cover the costs, it is a real possibility that Nova Open could officially be over forever. So that's just the nature of the charity event. But I do have hope because everyone I know at Nova, all the game systems, everyone is very generous. So if you were signed up to go to Nova, instead of asking for a refund, I would encourage you to just donate your entry ticket fee to help cover the cost of the event. And they've already said that if they do get the cost covered, then literally everything after that is still going to go to charity. It's obviously still nonprofit, but and you can also go and donate money too if you weren't planning to attend, but you want to see this event continue. So encourage everybody to go check it out. If you go to Nova Open, check them out on Facebook. You can see more information there and how everything's going on if you haven't already received the email. So, all right, that news out of the way.
If I could jump in on that for a second, Chuck.
Yes, yeah.
I just want to say, just from somebody who runs events in general, the idea of donating that money if for some reason you can't make it or something comes up, so much goes into these event plannings, and the majority of TOs, this is outside of the big ones, they take a bath every time they run one of these things, even when everything works out well. So consider donating that if things like this come up in the future. If you can't make it, I mean, I don't want to tell people how to spend their money, but it is extremely helpful to the planning of these events if you can rely on the revenue source. So just keep that in mind, when you're registering for events.
Nope, well said.
Yeah, I agree. And AOS players, we know the 40K players are going to be like, I want my money back. So you gotta step up.
If Age of Sigmar, if I found out that every single person in the Age of Sigmar event that signed up donated their ticket fund, I will wear my Marathi costume to Nova Open to TO the event next year. All weekend. But it has to be every single one of you. Every single one of you.
This isn't a punishment, by the way. He really wants to do it.
I do.
I miss my silky legs.
My shaved chest, man. Listen, hey, heels aren't that uncomfortable. I never thought I'd know that fact, but heels aren't that bad.
Don't believe the hype.
Listen, anything that makes me taller, I'm all for. All right. Anyway, outside of that, other hobby stuff. I'm still in the same boat where outside of the Nova terrain, which is kind of like sidelined for right now, and they'll probably be taken down to storage here in the next couple months. I have nothing else to paint. My whole backlog is clear, which is exciting. So I guess the really important thing, I'm going to put this on my hobby table. It's purchases, technically. I recently was down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area as last week for work. And you might be thinking, oh, what's so exciting about Dallas-Fort Worth? Well, that's where the Warhammer Citadel's at, near Grapevine, Texas. So I was able to make a trip there after work hours and visit the Citadel in its current post-COVID opening state, which I couldn't get to see everything, which is kind of sad, but it's a really nice store. They have everything you need for a normal Warhammer location, but they also had some special swag, so I picked up some of that, and it was good. It was a good trip. Grapevine, Texas is a really nice place. I don't know if I can safely say that you want to go down to the Warhammer Citadel as the main draw, because it is technically just end of the day, it's a retail store that you might be able to spend a couple hours in at most. But Grapevine itself is a fantastic little spot. There's some breweries, there's lots of food, so you could waste a few days down there for sure. And let's see what else I got going on.
Also, I would like to jump on your hobby train.
Okay.
And I'd like to let Neil and Dave in on a little secret. A couple years ago, I bought Chuck a High Elf model. I don't believe
you. I still don't believe you.
That's fine. And then the next time I went over to his house, I hid it somewhere. He will never be 100% painted because there is a hidden High Elf model in his house, and he has no idea where.
Okay. All right.
That's so good.
All right. Hold on. Is this legit?
No, I'm giving you no hint. No hints. You're done.
Because I will tear my house apart.
This is so good. Oh man.
The best is after he tears his house apart and digs through the rubble, he finds the fully painted miniature.
No, knowing Matt, it's after I tear the house apart and prove that it's not here is when he actually hides it. If he did this, I don't believe it. I don't believe you, Matt.
Go ahead. You're allowed.
Anyway,
99.9. I'm going to get you a chop.
Be...
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a big shirt that says 99.9%, and that's
or just a big shirt that's just a question mark. Are you sure?
Or the best thing to do now at this point, Matt, is to buy a High Elf model. Go to the bins at Adepticon and just start pulling these things out. And every time you go over to his house, you just add another one.
Hide another one.
Slowly start knocking that percentage down.
There's a 2,000-point army hidden in your walls, bro. What are you going to do? And they're all on squares.
If I go upstairs and check the tank on the back of my toilet and there's just sprues in there, I won't be mad.
Oh my god!
I might feel a little violated. Anyway, other fun news. My local club, Ligonier Legion Wargaming, is going to have their first club day this Saturday. Now I know Matt, you're coming out. Dave and Neil, you are both invited. I know Neil, you are not going to be attending. Just because of the nature of your job and your children, all that makes sense. Dave, do you love your children enough to come risk contamination over here in PA or not? I mean, they're listening right now, so how much do you love them?
I love them too much for me to make that trek to PA.
Okay, all right.
Nice save.
Yep.
Nice save.
Yeah.
Yep.
The wife will be proud on that one, too.
That includes, now you don't have to go see the in-laws, right? So...
Ooh, he just ruined it.
To be fair, I did just listen to the news an hour ago, and they said it's supposed to be thunderstorms all afternoon. So,
see, actually, that's a good point. We're not actually having it at our normal venue. We usually have it in the basement of a local church in town, because one of our club members is the son of the pastor of that church. But they've offered up their backyard, so we're doing it outside under tents instead of being it. So that's how it's going to be. And we are keeping it small and limited. We're encouraging social distancing. Wear a mask if to whatever your comfort level it is.
We are following all local guidelines.
Yep.
That's actually really great that you guys are doing it outside. That's perfect.
Yeah, and like I said, if the storms happen, we'll just quickly pack up and we'll head to the local bar, the Wicked Googly, which is open for business. And we'll take one of the big tables, we'll spread out, and we'll just hang out and chat wargaming if we can't actually play. Although secretly, Matt, you and I are coming back to my place and we're playing.
Hell yeah!
Matt, bring a spare model.
Game's off. I forfeit. We're done. But yeah, that's mine that I can remember right now. I don't know. Things are blurring. Oh, I'm also playing regularly in a Soulbound campaign over on Mr. Mephisto's channel with some wonderful people. It's a great time. I'm playing a Witch Elf, so come on over and enjoy that Friday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, that's
So when are you going to run a game for us?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I want to do that soon. Originally this Soulbound campaign I'm in, it was kind of like going in, thought it would be like a 2-3 session type thing just to kind of like try it out and do something for the community, and we all really like it, and it's just like, okay, it's a full campaign now, we're just doing it until we're done, I guess, which is exciting. Like I'm really enjoying the campaign. We got a good group, so just need to figure out when to do it. Probably like maybe like a Sunday morning type thing.
Ooh.
I'm just trying to think, because I know, Neil, you and me and occasionally a few others, we would do like we called it the dad hammer hangouts, even though I'm not a dad. I have cats, but like it was the early AM Sunday. We'd drink coffee and just hang out because we got so much done.
Yeah.
So maybe
until my kid comes down the stairs, it's all fun games until the kids came down.
I know, I love that. I would just be on the video. I just see your daughter's little blonde head just bounce around and like just the top of it, and then like I hear something like, "I want pancakes," and you're like, "Chuck, see you later." I don't know. I thought it was cute. Yeah, we'll get something going too. I don't know if we'll record it. I mean, we can, but we'll see. At least we'll get some sessions in, because it's a really fun game, and you guys are gonna love it. But fitness. I'm continuing to work out 3 to 5 times a week in my home gym. I am working back in the office a couple days a week, so actually yesterday was my first day back in my CrossFit box, which was fantastic. My cardio has definitely suffered because I've neglected it, but the weight's still feeling pretty light, so I'm really happy about that. And that little tweak in my back, there's still like some acute discomfort, but it's just getting better, and like I'm just kind of working through it and working around it, not pushing it too much, and it's feeling much better, which I'm very happy about, because with lower back injury, that was not fun. Like it's like instant, like I'm never gonna financially recover from this, but thankfully it's good. And Neil offered me some great advice early on too, so I appreciate that. Which was pretty much, don't be stupid.
Go see a professional.
It's the best advice. Applicable in so many things.
Yep. It's like, well, I just hurt my back. It's like, well, okay, just don't deadlift for a while. Okay, but I did deadlift.
Rub some dirt on it and walk it off.
It works for bees. It should work for deadlifts, right?
I try to follow that same advice when I build lists, and I just can't seem to do it.
Well, let's see. Oh, I'm going to count this as hobby, actually. I put in a garden at my house. And I count it as hobby because I put a little pin I had of a Larial on the little fence to keep the rabbits out, which isn't working, by the way. So I built a garden.
Why wouldn't a Larial pin keep the bunnies out?
No, the fence is supposed to keep the bunnies out. I put the pin on the
that's
fence.
where you're wrong. You're building industrial, industry around this garden, and a Larial's just not going to have that.
She's not.
She brought the bunnies to take the fence down.
Actually, I came home one day. There was a rabbit inside the whole thing, and like it's mostly actually eating the weeds. Like it's kind of getting at the cucumbers, but it's really not attacking most of what I have planted. So I really don't care. I like bunnies, so it's fine. But it looked at me and literally ran through the hole, like the holes in like the fence that I thought were too small for it to squeeze through. Like it wasn't even there. I was just like, all right, I guess.
Did he actually wink at you before he ran?
I have this image of Chuck chasing this rabbit like Bugs Bunny. They're going through doorways, and like Chuck opens the doorway and goes in one, Bugs Bunny comes out the other one, and on and on.
Actually, it's it's a very different. Whenever I like driving home, because there's a lot of rabbits in my part of my neighborhood, which I don't mind. because literally I'll be with my wife in the car and like I'll drive up to the house and there'll be a rabbit. I'm like, ooh, buns, and I'm just like I don't know why. I turn into like a 5-year-old child that just wants to see the bunny rabbit every time. So I really don't care. They can eat the cucumbers. That's fine. But yeah. So there we go. We're all caught up. That's a good episode, guys. 34 minutes. We got it all in. Let's wrap it up.
All right, Brush for Hire, brought to you by Ice Cubes. Go!
So actually,
now in Technicolor.
Actually, we do have a little bit of Age of Sigmar news to chat about tonight. The Lumineth Realm Lords are finally coming out. Pre-orders in 2 days. Lots of articles were coming out, and then technically today there was a leak from a German version of the book.
Oh.
Yeah. Someone broke Street Date real hard in Germany. But I just
Thankfully, almost no one knows German, so
well, you would if you delivered the mail properly, Matt.
well, Oxelieber.
No, so yeah, people are going crazy for that. That's not. I don't think it's any of our styles here. Like when the book comes out, we'll read it. We'll go over it on the show here. Yeah, if whatever. But just in general, I'm curious to know everyone's thoughts now that we have seen more officially through like the Warcom site on the Lumineth. General thoughts and see how the excitement level is going, because like the excitement is still there. Some people have dropped off from the hype. The people that jumped on early and were just the ones that are always about the new thing, since it has been a while, because it was kind of a long preview, and then global pandemics and all that sort of stuff started messing up with the timetable for release. It's been a while, so the really hype people have remained, and it's fun to see. But let's start with you, Dave. What do you think of the Lumineth Realm Lords? What do you like? What do you don't like?
I think I'm one of the few you'll hear from directly. I like the cow thing, the crazy giant cow model.
Yeah.
I think I think some of the infantry, like the archers and things, some of them look pretty cool, but I don't like painting enough to try to get into that army.
Okay.
Those models have so many tiny fiddly bits that would need 18 different colors apiece in 4 different layers. I don't think so. Like,
so you're never painting any elves ever, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I have enough trouble with the detail on these Noblars. Like, and I'm painting them in like 3 giant blocks of color. So that's, yeah.
Okay. I mean, so you like the aesthetic of the cows. I mean, yeah, that's fine. The army is not going to be for everybody.
But obviously that model with no body is awesome.
Oh, Therian? Yeah. He is sick. And his actually, they did release his rules, at least I think most of them, in a Warcom article. I can't remember exactly what they all mentioned, but he looks like a brick house coming at you.
He is a more easier to digest Gotrek.
Okay.
I mean, really, you just I don't think they said he piles in and attacks twice. I don't think I saw that rule there. And then he also doesn't have the rule to reduce all damage to 1. Other than that,
his water out.
Which, by the way, for the listeners, the only time I've ever actually got to field Gotrek was against Dave's
my Beast Claw.
Yeah, against the Beast Claw, where I told him beforehand, I said, did you read the War Scroll, or do you know what this does? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, it's going to sound like I'm making stuff up.
Yeah.
Dave charged him anyway.
Oh, yeah, I totally tried to kill him.
Yeah, I took out, 2 stone horns by turn 2?
He was effective. Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's interesting, and I have to agree with you. I do really like the cow aesthetic, which when I was playtesting it, I was all about like just reading it like oh the basic elves, the kind of Return of the High Elves, and I didn't really get into the cow aesthetic or the Mongol aesthetic stuff until I saw the models, and then for some reason I'm like, that's the part I like more. I don't know why it gripped me as hard as it did, but I like the whole range as it is, but yeah, the big cows do it for me. Maybe it's the Slaanesh creeping in, like, because the keepers are very like bovine like. Maybe I'm slowly being tainted even further from high elf to dark elf to Slaanesh, and then it's coming back full circle. Neil, is this? Did you just roll your eyes? Did you just roll your eyes?
I took a deep breath.
I thought, yeah. Sure.
No, it's a giant no. And actually, like the articles that have been coming out, and it's like, oh yeah, Luminous been released, and here's some more information about it. And I haven't even clicked on the articles. That's how indifferent I am. And I can't say that about any other army ever. And it used to kind of be my army, the army for me. I don't know. It feels like if I was to play that, I wouldn't be playing elves. I'd be playing cows. I don't want to play cows, so it's just not. Not the army.
You don't have to run the cows at all.
You don't have to, but you. No. When I buy into an army, I want to buy into the whole thing, and I can't go piecemeal on it like that. So, for me, it's just I'll be happy to play against it. I'll throw my giant fleet of Kharadron forward, and they will decimate that fleet as everybody does. But
we'll see. We'll see whenever we get to the review. That there might be some effectiveness with KO against that army.
We'll see. We'll see about that. But it might be the first army then. It's certainly not my KO. But yeah, no, I don't know. We'll wait. We waited. I saw the fish elves. That was a pass for me. Cow elves are a pass for me. I do like the Daughters of Cain. But so right now, if I had to get into elves, that'd be the way I'd go. But I'm still waiting to see where we go with Malarian's elves. So I'm gonna stay in idle here until I see what's going on there, and then I might just drive away. If
well, we got two elven gods on the pantheon left, Malarian and Tyrion. So you're waiting for those. You're holding out even longer.
Oh, Tyrion's still kind of the light elves. I'm imagining that they'll be somewhat similar.
I think they're going to find a different, unassuming, non-threatening creature. It's going to be like the hedgehog elves.
Oh no! What's the that Australian big hedgehog thing? The capybara or whatever it is.
Oh, the capybara, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be the capybaras.
It's a fur.
It's going to be some kind of outlandish clothing. So it'll be like that lizard with a big frill, and so they'll all have like these big frills around. I know.
And the panda elves.
Panda elves, yeah.
All right. Well, it's a hard pass for Neil. It's
hard.
Listen, I do understand the fall from the high elfness, but yeah, you fell completely out of elves, and that my heart is cracking right now.
It's mine too.
Matt, can you save us? Can you bring some joy to this podcast about the Illuminate Realm Lords?
Let me start off with some cheekiness that's not sincere, but after this week's reveal of special rules, it just continues to fortify my theory that Games Workshop just hates dwarves and loves elves. But no, with kidding aside, with time, the only thing that hasn't grown on me yet is what are they called? The guys with the hammers. I forget the unit name already.
That's fine.
Avius or something. Whatever. The hammer guys. Those helmets, man. The helmets, man. Either cone or bull, not both. I don't need the light tower of Bullhead. It's
Well, I will help you out with that because I have plenty of old high elf bits and
oh yeah, man.
like just elf bits in general. I can help you swap those heads out.
Yeah, but like I said, I agree with Dave. I think the Bull Mountain model is awesome looking, both the named and the generic. I think all the units look awesome. The cavalry and the spearmen. I was looking at the sprue and seeing that calling it a spear is
it's a pike. It's a pike. They started
it's a
correcting
pike and a
themselves.
half.
They started correcting themselves and calling it a pike. Yeah,
I mean that thing is gigantic.
it's got they confirmed 3-inch reach.
Heck yeah. I mean it's those rules are. I was just drooling over them all week. Oh boy. Yeah, like I said, I'm very interested to see where the army goes, and I can't wait to actually delve into the book a little bit. I mean, there's nowhere to go, but even if there's just no more up, it just continues at the line that it's at right now. You got yourself an amazing book coming out.
Yeah,
and I can't wait, Matt, to see you go 0-5 with an army with rules like that.
I will make it happen. Don't you worry.
I'm really excited to see the lore in the book.
Yeah.
Just because the elves are always a driving force in the lore in general, whether you love them or hate them. So just to see what they have going on, and further vindicate Teclis that he is not the village idiot that people claim him to be. Other lesser podcasts will say that, so stop listening to them and just listen to us. We are the truth on Teclis.
So, real quick, Dave, here's some PG content coming your way. So I
earmuffs,
did like
kids, earmuffs.
I did like the story where it was basically Dad and Daddy, left the kids home by themselves for an hour, and the kids are like, "Let's do cocaine."
Yeah, the Spirefall.
Yeah, man, that just. And they come back, and it's like, we were gone for an hour.
Did you see that article, Dave? Did you miss that?
I missed that.
So, Matt, explain the lore in non-cocaine terms.
The Lumineth have something like Aether Gold, except for better. It's called Aether Quartz. And it's essentially, based on what the article said, it's basically like steroids, Adderall, and cocaine wrapped into one. And so,
But when you use it, you enter a depression immediately.
And so, it boosted them. So, it was basically like, oh, I don't want to draw something without being hopped up on Aether Quartz. And so it's like all they did was just take Aether Quartz all the time. And it basically turned into Major League Baseball in the 70s and 80s.
For the late 90s.
Yeah.
And then whenever Tyrion and Teclis came back, they're like, you guys have some splaining to do.
Yeah. They fell.
So GW's
hard.
lesson for the kids is drugs help. Drugs make you better at everything.
It's that with a little bit of Cat in the Hat. Clean up your mess before your parents come home, and
Yep.
That's true. It's true. Like I said, the Spirefall sounds real interesting. I hope we see a lot in there because there could be a lot of narrative hooks in there.
Yeah.
Which the Spirefall is the when they at the height of the party when the fight broke out, and then the cops came. But the cops were Slaanesh and Nurgle and Khorne and Tzeentch.
Reading that story, I was shocked to see that Aether Quartz is still in the rules. It makes the -1 bravery thing finally work, but I was shocked. You think they would have learned their lesson by now?
Hey, I mean everything in moderation.
Right.
You can do everything
Even
in moderation,
cocaine.
even cocaine. Don't do drugs, kids. Do not do drugs.
Do not. Cocaine is bad for you.
Cocaine is terrible for you.
So is steroids and Adderall, unless prescribed by a doctor.
Sure.
Prescription makes it good for you.
Yeah.
Taper on, taper off. That's
Depending on the state you live in, weed may be okay. I don't know. Consult your local laws.
That's not going to help anything, though. That's
Nope, solves no problems. I know myself. Oh, Matt, how many boxes are you after from this new starter box coming out?
probably 6 or 7.
Okay, being
Probably 6 or 7.
and that's perfect. It's not like the I mean, you're playing into them over indulging in the fall. So you're just I'm just waiting for like 2 weeks from now. You have all the boxes in your house, and it's just like.
Well, I'm just going to do some
the wall.
Adderall, cocaine, and steroids, and
You have an army done. And...
Get everything done in one night. That's
and clean the house.
And like the Blight Kings, they'll have extra arms glued everywhere.
I'm going to show up at your house at 3 a.m. going, "We're going to play again."
Done is done.
He glued everything all
to
together
Neil's
on
house.
one base.
He just Katamari'd it. It's just a ball of Lumina.
It's just Katamari Damacy. It's just this big.
Like,
He doesn't even cut anything off the sprue. He just glues all the sprues together in this big stack, pushes it across the table.
He's rolling around in your front yard, just rubbing grass on himself.
oh boy. Just gotta let him go. Gotta learn a lesson somehow.
Well, there's a boy that didn't read the lore section. That's
he read to the point of party and said, "Good enough for me." Boy, I don't know. I'm not as thrilled as other people, but I am excited for more elves. So I will be getting a box myself. I am definitely going to slow grow this army because I also don't want to ever have a backlog ever again. I'm enjoying not having one, so that's my current plan with it. I will put my Kane influence with bits throughout the army as well. Don't you worry.
Now let me ask. So, because again, you were Mr. High Elf in fantasy.
Yep.
What now? Is it just that you've fallen that far in love with Daughters of Cain, or is there something that you kind of wanted something different, or something you're expecting a little bit of a different ring to, or? I
think it's very much die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain, because it's literally like high elves weren't really a thing, so I put them away. I played Stormcast because that's what there was. And then, Daughters of Cain came out and just, like, grabbed a hold of me and have never let go, and they never will. And it's like, they're my new forever army.
What if Brothers of Cain comes out?
We're getting Brothers of Cain with the Warcry. There's some male models in that set, so...
Are you going to get 300 models worth of Dudes of Cain?
No, because from the Detroit club, Jake, he actually did a all-male 300 Greek 300 themed.
Oh, that's awesome.
Daughters of Cain army. I think what did he call them? He might have called them he could just call them the Sons of Cain. But it's like his display board was a Spartan shield. It was very well done. I'll stick with the ladies. That's fine with me. I'll continue to add more. 250 something witch elves right now, I think.
You need to get up to 300 so you can challenge that Spartanness.
Well, I mean, I am over 300 if you want to count Sisters of Slaughter.
No, they don't count.
No, we don't want to count that.
Come on, Dine and Shade.
Yep. Once you get to 300, Matt's going to come over your house and just hide one of them.
Rub off some paint.
I thought you said there were 300. Where?
And then I just pull out like more. I just keep pulling out more as he throws them away in front of me. I'm just pulling out more. Like, nope, this always happens. It's. I still am a big fan of Teclis. I am going to collect on some level all the elves as they come out for sure because I just love elves. But my heart belongs to Marathi now, and always will.
She's plucked it from your chest.
Yeah, this. She didn't ask for it. She just took it, and she's like, this is mine now." Plus, it is. It's so much fun being bad. You know what I mean? Like,
Still, I mean, I love the look of that army. I love it. I love it every time I see it on any board.
yeah. Actually, I guess this is way back to hobby news. Technically, with all the models I have painted for this now, I've been adding plastic witch elves.
Which is just blasphemy.
No, it's not, because I like
It
both.
is.
I like both. All right, so I can actually run a fully plastic Daughters of Cain army now, officially, and I feel good about that fact.
Now other people can pick up Chuck's army.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no longer a rite of passage. That's the problem.
Pick it up and you beat me.
You blow out a hemorrhoid trying to pick his army up.
Oh man. I mean,
And Chuck paint an army, even he can't lift. That's
I don't think I could afford that. I don't think I could afford.
Now let me
that.
ask: the metal models, is that how many lines of Daughters of Cain have there been?
As far as witch elves specifically, I think those are the third.
So we need to get you 30 or 40 first gen witch elves, is what you're saying.
I have a single first gen model on one of my cauldrons, the cauldron that's also the Hydra conversion.
Mm.
Yeah. Friend Paul gave it to me, so I technically have all of the generations represented. So we
That's
are
awesome.
good. We are good there.
Those first gen models are hot garbage.
Yeah, actually, he sent it to me because originally, like, probably I'm not sure if it was said on the podcast, but it was for Realms at War, and it was the Aether Mist. So you needed a model to represent the potatofication of your Aether Mist in case stuff went bad. So my potato was the very original sculpt of a witch elf. Because like
They're not like original Nagash bad, but oof.
they're not good next to every other Daughters of Cain model in existence. They show their age.
But
now
now,
I saw-
That was my introduction. That was my time right there.
how does it match up to the current, what is it, Fellbats model? Like,
I'd
because
put
that's
it.
terrible.
It's a little better than that. Like
Yeah,
it
it is.
painted up pretty okay. Like with a modern paint system on it, it painted up not terribly looking.
I don't know
So
if we've touched...
still twice as good as Neil's stuff.
It's true.
I don't know if we've touched base on this before or not, but speaking of previous models, I still think the previous Demonettes and Pink Horrors were the best that they've come out with. With the Demonettes that were
The 1D is Demonettes.
right,
Yeah.
right, and like I said, the Pink Horrors are the ones that are literally have blue horrors like ripping themselves out of Pink Horrors' mouths, and it's so horrifying. And I would love to see that return with some of the other demon lines.
If we're having this conversation right now, original Teclis is still the best Teclis.
Yeah,
Period.
but yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Because the second version I didn't like as well as the first version.
Nope, not even close.
And
I don't even think I've ever seen the first version.
if you look it up, if you want to follow along at home, everybody, if you just Google old Teclis models, there's one where he's doing like the YMCA.
Yeah,
That's the
Yeah,
original.
T-pose.
That's the original.
Oh yeah.
Which is actually what the new model's kind of based off of. You can see it really plainly.
Yeah.
And then what was the second one? He was striding forward.
Second one, he had the staff forward, and then he had the sword with him. But it was it just.
It looked worse than the first one for sure.
let's see.
That's the one I had too. It's terrible.
I was thankful I had both, but I honestly thought that the one striding forward was the first version because it lacks detail.
Yeah.
Although I do have a second version of the original version of Teclis. It is metal, so it was a pain in the butt to chop up. but he is a broken statue at the base of Volturnus on my Ideneth army.
I have done many old metal high elf models, broken statues on.
Yeah, actually, I'd be curious on your opinion on this, Neil, especially because of your lack of fondness for the return, quote unquote, of the high elves. I was debating on sprinkling more old high elf models as statues across the bases of my Lumineth. I don't know if it would clash too much. Now, obviously, it wouldn't be everywhere. I wouldn't have like a statue of an old spearman next to the new wardens because that would just be weird. But like maybe like a weapon here, like a half of a statue, and like on Teclis for sure, I'd probably put like. Actually, for Teclis, I'd probably try and find an old Teclis and maybe even Tyrion statue and make them their models, make them statues on that base.
That would actually be really neat. Is to have different Teclis models kind of like basing throughout your army, like so there were different periods they were worshiping Teclis, right? And he's there, right? He's this god, but like the smaller guys have this like statue or something like that, or the terrain that they're walking past is something that they erected in his image, right? But when he shows up on the battlefield, it looks a whole lot bigger than this statue.
Okay,
so that would actually look really cool.
Doesn't one of your boards, Neil, have some spearmen painted up as statues?
Oh yeah, so the giant mountain that I did, the outside of the castle has the old 4th edition static posed spearmen, all painted up as.
I'll tell you, that's one benefit to the old fantasy models that are rank and file. They have that rigidity that works perfect for statues.
Right, yeah.
Actually, yeah. Seeing that on your board, and then you also put it on some of your tables.
Yeah,
on your
I've got
terrain.
some old metal ones, and actually, if we're going back to like amazing old like 4th ed models, there is a high elf champion. It was a unit champion, and he had antlers, and he had like a shield over here, and he held a sword up.
Yep.
That one was one of the best. I love that guy. But anyway, I desist.
Well, quick anecdote about that before I get back to my anecdote. I painted that one as a wood elf.
Yeah,
Because I found it outside the blister in like a bag at like a bits guy, and I painted it as a wood elf because I thought it was a wood elf. I didn't know. You're educating me that was a high elf.
that was a high elf unit champion. Yeah.
Wow.
So speaking of that reminded me. I don't know if you guys saw the GW Facebook post and tweet where they had the like, "Oh, Lumineth are coming. Show us your elves." And they had that picture of a
Wild
horned
Riders.
elf.
It was the Wild Riders.
And so
Yeah.
I didn't really look at old wood elf art, and so I was like, "Holy cow! Is this how they're also leaking the Kurnothi?" So I reached out to Mr. High Elf Chuck, and he was like, "No, that's wait. Very old art."
That's Mr. High Elf is my maiden name. Could you please correct it? Mr.
Sorry, Mr. Daughters of Cain.
Thank you.
Yeah, I reached out to him because I was like, if anyone's going to know if his art is old school or not, then yeah, he was like, not even hesitated, just
Like, nope.
like I was sitting there about asking the question, he was already typing it back. Like,
I'm just like, nope. I don't know what the heck they're doing, but they're like, oh, elves, elf art. It's clearly the whoever was running the Warcom Facebook page that day was not an elf fan. They were given a task and they did it.
like I said, it's incredible art. I mean, it's again, like I said, it's so good that it still mirrors the kind of the more refined style that they're going for now.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm still shocked. I am still shocked that they haven't said 2 words about a Kurnothi army.
Yeah.
Like,
I think people buy it up, especially after the Underworld's Warband.
right, like that came
looks really
out,
good.
and like Morgan, my other half, she saw those and was like, I'm getting that army. And I'm like, it's not an army. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Games Workshop, if you're testing the waters that way, it's a success. Please jump in.
Yeah, that's yeah. Because again, like I
I
feel like
even if it's just like an add-on to like say Sylvaneth, you know,
right.
like
That'd be
a
fun.
new chamber or whatever. That even that would be so good.
I mean,
I
again,
was-
it could be Okay.
So you got like death stuff, right? And you got Nagash. Nagash is god. Nagash is playable on the board, right? And Nagash has like all these units, and like you got Illyria, which is the opposite of this, and she's the goddess of life, and she gets trees.
Right.
That's it. But the goddess of life, I think more things are alive than just trees. So I feel like she could have something more. So
Well, I mean, even still, you could have to equate it to a chaos army. You would essentially have your tree people would be kind of like the demons, and the Kurnoth could be like the mortals.
yeah,
It,
sounds great.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Like,
it's
even to the lore, because the elves that abandoned Gyran to go to Azir during the Age of Chaos is why she doesn't have elves in
Yeah.
her army anymore. But these ones are such a blend that it's like,
Yeah.
like you could still keep the ones that are in the city of Sigmar. Yeah, like I still don't like them. They abandoned me, but like these new ones could be grown by, like I would just love it, because Centaur elves, yes, please.
yeah. I mean,
Yes,
Now
please.
there's something I'd buy into. Half horse elves. I'm there.
yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
said, I love the whole like they
Cows?
basically
Have cows? No.
What if
they have
What
horns.
if
What do you?
what if they're centaurs with udders? So it's actually like
Uh,
cowmen.
Boy, man, I can't wait to contrast some udders, man. That's
can we please stop milking the cow jokes?
no.
I dislike this the most because I am lactose intolerant.
Ooh. So you can't even play the army. Like it shows up at the table, and you have to run to the bathroom.
Get some lactate.
Yes, actually. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, I love that. I don't want to jinx it, with how they want to like brand everything to make it so they can, copyright and everything, which I totally get. But like, it's like they're dipping a toe back into D&D, and they're going with, let's just make, because in D&D the elves have always been partially Fey. But there is the Fae, which is like the centaurs and satyrs and fairies and all that other stuff. That would be amazing to see an army that are basically like half of these Fae creatures and the other half elf. It's such an untapped
They've almost
potential.
done it already. I mean, like they've got like the half tree, half elf guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another.
Yeah, just keep the trend going.
Speaking of which, I did get more of those too. So not only did I buy your Nurgle, Matt, but I also have some more. My wife is kind of playing around with every once in a while, very rarely, but every once in a while she's putting together some Sylvaneth, and so her plan is to paint that, and eventually it's going to be mine. So I've acquired some more for her to eventually do something with, and if eventually turns into never, then I just get to do it. So
Well, how many trees do you have? Every time I mention this army, Matt won't let me.
Oh,
live
you
down
need
the
like
fact.
8 to 10 at least.
I have no trees, none, zero.
And you're doing it completely wrong. It's
Nah,
kind
I like your style. I have one of the old and one of the new, and I'm good.
Yeah.
That's all.
The one thing I do like about the new tree models, or not necessarily the model itself, but the implication thereof, is now all the old style trees can now more easily be integrated as terrain now.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you show up to a table and like you've managed to paint your trees the same way as that table. You're like,
right. Because that's one of the things, like, I've seen it on tables, and I don't want to disparage them in any way, but I don't like the new trees as neutral terrain. To me, the new trees are Sylvaneth Wildwoods.
And I like that the new trees make people put the leaves on because it's built in. Every time I saw sticks on the table, I'm like, all right, sure.
Listen, I don't want to have to move models through that crap, so sticks it is.
I glued mine down and just threw them in my opponent's end to be like, that's your problem.
I think it would be good to see some more insect models in that army. I mean, she's riding this enormous beetle that's like awesome, and there's no more bugs. Now,
Well,
don't get me wrong. I'm
Right,
afraid
careful with
of
the bug
anything with
thing,
more
though,
than
'cause-
4 legs.
The bug thing is kind of a Lariel's thing, and also if you start getting the spiders, then you're encroaching on the grass.
Yeah.
There is like some small bugs mixed in, but they're usually like the face spites.
Right.
Like,
Well, again,
Alariel's
don't
is the
forget,
only one that's like an actual beetle
character.
in
But
appearance.
that
yeah,
that beetle is actually made out of spikes.
That's true. Yeah,
Yes.
thousands of
Yeah.
spikes. Yeah.
But don't forget, Drycha has the worm option and the bee option.
True.
And then there's
Not
gonna send the
bees.
killer dogs that shoot bees when they bark. And then there's also the wormy endless spell.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
And the Arch Revenant has the big winged one on its back, the fly.
yeah. Yeah, so maybe they will go that way.
It's
But I
possible.
like the elf fusion thing there. Let's let Ilario get in the game, suck some souls out of Slanesh too. Come on now.
Well, let me ask you this, Neil. As a classic High Elf player who's not a fan of the Lumineth as they are, what type of unit, that you'd port up or like you'd create, or like how would you fashion something that would make you go, all right, this is the army I wanted as a classic High Elf player?
So here's so they came out with the spearmen and the archers, right?
Yep.
Which are very classic high elves, and they didn't do much for me. And I think the reason is because that old world blew up, and so I don't need classic high elves anymore. I guess I just was looking for something different. I kind of fell in love with that idea of like the angelic elves, like the whole kind of purity thing. That's kind of more what I wanted to see there. They kind of already got the angelic kind of stuff in the Stormcast anyway, so that was always going to be kind of a hard thing to pass. But if I don't know, I'm really liking this idea with the Fey elves.
All right, there we go.
But if I'm looking at something that hasn't come out yet, and I know that Malarian, just based on the lore, is a fusion of his old dragon, is a fusion of Malekith and his dragon Selophet. Was that his name?
Yeah.
No, the Selophet was the Pegasus.
Sarah something?
Wasn't it
Seth?
Seraphon?
Yeah,
Was it?
yeah,
I think
it was. Yeah.
I remember this discussion because I have no idea, but I remember hearing something about how that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we're talking like a fusion of like half dragon people,
Ooh. Hey,
Yeah,
I talked
yeah.
about dragon people before.
Yeah, it was Seraphon. Okay, cool.
Dave never playing any kind of old fantasy Warhammer fantasy pulls out the Seraphon come out there. Wow,
Yeah.
well done.
Hey. Who has two thumbs and knew that tiny bit of trivia? This guy.
Well, see, here's the thing too. Like, if you were getting jazzed up for Karnathi, I mean, technically there's models existence, so like that could very well be a thing at some point in the future. Time will tell. I know I'd love it as a staunch elf player who never gave up and switched to flying dwarves.
But what are the odds?
I sold out.
Turn around.
Guys who sell out.
What are the odds they'd turn around and say, "And here's more elves as the next army"? Though, I mean, it's got to be a long way down the road if it is on the road.
Well,
That was-
again, to go with my my yet to be disproven theory, they love elves. We could get 3 more elf armies in a row. That's
Wasn't IDK and Daughters of Cain pretty close to one another?
yeah.
Yeah, but one was just a reboot. I mean, Daughters of Cain was
It was a heavy.
pre-existing and just
It was
here's
a
a
heavy.
book.
It was a heavy reboot though.
Well, I mean, though you got the whole serpent line, right? Those were new, right?
Kanari, the Melusai, Marathi's model. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's a ton of kits, but still. Yeah, it was definitely a reboot, but felt like it had a bigger splash than Ideneth, so.
True. Ironic.
Ironically enough. Yeah.
Rubber chicken. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum.
Gotta get him in as I can. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Well, I know. Don't worry, Neil. You'll get to see plenty of Techless on the table for sure between myself and Matt.
Shoot her!
Actually, I say that I'll do what I do always. I will play it once at one event. I'll be like, back to Daughters of Cain.
Well, my Karajan army is absolute trash, and it will never actually win a game. If I decide that I want to shoot something, it will die.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Which
I just won't score any objectives ever.
it makes me scared to bring Tirathi to that super secret event you're running, just in case come across that and.
Well,
Loser.
to be fair, I'll be running it, so you won't see me playing in it, which is it's a shame. Let's see how.
Which means
It's the curse of the TO, right?
Yeah,
you
true.
build this tournament that you're so excited about, and you get to watch everybody else play it.
that is definitely the biggest downside of narrative events. Because like I feel like in a GT, it's hard, but you can get away with it.
Right.
In a narrative, you need to be there, ready to. No, this elephant shows up on the table.
I say like,
dude, this is an Uno tournament. What are you talking about?
I say if you want to go like full Realms of War, like I said, I'm willing to help out too, because like the way they handle it too is they have one person that's kind of like running the event, doing all the back end paperwork, and they have other people who are like the actors that are leading the narrative in the groups. So if you want to do something like that, like as much as I'd love to play in a narrative event, I'd also love to help you have success if that's something you want to do.
Well, hopefully, what will happen in this event, another nugget, is that the players will be forging their own narratives throughout this event, and there won't have to be too much TO involvement. We'll see.
Listen,
We shall see.
Neil, we're gonna get close here. You need to give me an excuse to wear the costume again. That's good. That's what. Why aren't you picking up on this bit?
Listen,
You're just striking it down.
Never whisper at me again like that while talking about that costume.
Also, the licking of the lips was really off-putting. That's
You got to go ASMR once in a while. Actually, I'll be honest. Like, the wings and the crown are like hanging above my gaming table. I don't know if that outfit actually has survived. I don't know if it's. Like the last time I took it off, I was just ripping it off quickly because it was at Holy Havoc and I was like cold. It was the only event I ever went to. It was cold. I was like, I need clothes on.
Well, we were in middle of the Arctic tundra in middle of the winter, so.
True, it's true.
I thought he was going to say the last time I took it off, when I was clubbing in February.
Listen,
The last time I took it off yesterday.
listen, I taking it off, being a little too quick. Last night it was in a hurry. I was to get my power walks in the heels and
Throws of passion.
gotta run in the pantyhose.
Last time I took it off, oh wait, no, I'm still wearing it.
Finkel is
I've never-
Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
Oh, your gun is poking into my hip.
All right,
Chuck.
Mrs. Roke, your husband said that joke in front of your kids.
Yeah.
So just so you know.
Sorry, kids. I'm sorry that your dad is a delinquent.
I apologize for calling you Mrs. Roke. I don't know your first name.
Her name is Meg.
Meg. I'd rather call someone Meg because that sounds too adult to call someone Mrs. something. Sorry.
Okay.
So, Chuck, let me ask you this. Since you know all these people with 3D printers, have you thought about scaling up the Marathi model wings and having them actually 3D printed?
No. I've thought about trying to get like some like weapons, some Daughters of Cain like knives or like the sickles to just kind of like hang up, but the wing and I say this not for wanting to like wear them because I imagine 3D printed wings would be god awful to wear, but it would be cool to have those on a wall.
I mean, I don't think they'd be that awful. I mean, 3D printed things are relatively light.
Yeah,
They're
interesting.
also a little fragile, so you got to be careful of that. But I get the crown and get the wings printed up.
Actually, long ago, I dreamed of having a Swordmaster greatsword, like crafted. This was before 3D printing was a thing, but trying to make the cosplay weapon myself because I've made a few, but to have that hanging on a wall, because that's a gorgeous looking. Especially it was, and I was using art from the MMO, but I would love to have just those types of things hanging around my gaming area. It would just be cool.
I'll tell you. See, this is one of the things that it's such an untapped market. The World of Warcraft started it by licensing the Frostmourne as a LARPing weapon, and people bought the tar out of that. I feel like GW needs to get a whole LARPing line going on here.
Actually, I mean, I could see it. Like Neil, imagine if in your gaming den you had like what looked like a piece of a hull of a KO ship.
Oh yeah.
Like it'd be a cool thing.
Oh,
Or just one of the Aether engines.
that would be amazing.
I mean,
That's hobby goals right there, Chuck. We'll see what I can do in this basement once my kids go to college.
there you go. How many years is that?
Boy, where we look at 10. 10 now.
Okay, that's not bad. That'll be Age of Sigmar's 15th anniversary.
11.
Yeah, but that's Neil. Isn't that 10 years till your first one is out of the house?
So 11 for the second, because
Okay.
they'll go boom boom.
All right. Well, when the first one happens, that's when we start planning and we execute.
Now again, though, to be fair, those kids do have half of Neil's genes, so college is 50-50, I'd say.
That's fair. That's fair. But
No,
they'll be,
and again,
they'll be adults, so I'll have no
Dave's
more.
kids, I joke, Neil's kids are fine and very smart. That's
They're not my kids. They're my wife's.
Safer
Oh,
that
then
way.
they do have a chance.
yeah, then they're in. They're done.
That's the only chance they got.
Neil has dogs.
They could go to college.
He'll get it.
They're more well behaved than the children are, to be perfectly honest. So
Talking about cosplay paraphernalia,
Careful now.
hold on, I'm going to a safe place. It's no big deal. Neil, if you're still going to be in the red zone with everything going on, you need to get yourself an Arcanaut helmet.
see that.
Ventilator already built in. Boom.
Nice
I need to
beard.
find somebody who can solder me an Arcanaut.
Actually, you know who could do that? Our friend Sean.
Brush for
from Brush-
Hire.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hell yeah! I mean, heck
You got a
yeah.
commercial for Brush for Hire, Matt?
Well, I'm trying to remember.
It's
I'm trying to
For
pull
all
some-
your Arcanaut helmet needs.
There you go. You got to do it in the voice, Dave. You have to do it in the voice.
Yeah, you gotta-
For all your Arcanaut helmet needs. I don't know what the voice is.
Voices. Brush for Hire.
Brush for Hire.
What
Now
are you-
painted in sound.
Sort of.
Guaranteed.
Arcanaut?
Man.
Let me think. Let me see if I got any more in there. Let's see here. Brush for Hire. Now experimenting in Illuminavision. Who knows what Illuminavision is?
No.
Go on his Twitter. He's on there. He's on his Twitch. Watch him Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
I can't believe we lost that narrative string that you did in the one Brush for Hire one.
Oh yeah.
Well,
So it was so
Well,
good.
That's what you get for
You waxed
trusting.
poetic.
well, again, no. See, the problem is I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, I got to bring it back. I got to do it right. And so I came up with all these dirty ones. And then Dave's like, hey, I'm going to show my kids. So
All right. Hold
they're
on.
in a box.
Hold on. Future Dave. You're sitting down right now
No.
with your wife.
No, they're bad.
No.
They're bad.
Future Dave. You're sitting down with your kids right now. It's time to put them to bed.
Don't watch.
I mean, eat your veggies. Stay in school. Go to bed. Earmuff while you're in bed.
Cocaine and Adderall.
We're gonna give a 5-second pause, and after that, when we come back, it's all off the table. All right.
Well, hold on.
All right.
Dave,
Yeah.
present Dave, or past Dave, do I have permission to give a good one zinger?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
I want to hear
okay.
all right,
that.
all right.
So we're going to give you 5.
Future Dave, put your kids to bed in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Brush for Hire. Less painting, more fucking.
Wow. That's
If you, for you listeners out there, if you could have seen the crazy eyes he just did that with.
Get in there.
I'm going to try to do this editing. I'm going to try and just flash his crazy eyes just for that moment in the video on YouTube for this. Well, future Dave, I hope you got your kids to bed in time, because otherwise, Meg is upset and you got some splaining to do.
Yeah, that was wow. I figured we'd stop at first or second base, but no, that was a home run right there. That's
Babe Ruth, baby.
It was a home run. He ran back out the first just to prove a point.
He took 2 laps. He hit it real far.
Oh man. Well, we might as well end there on the high notes.
Do we want to try and do like the we didn't do it last episode, but we did the first episode, and I enjoyed it, and it seemed like everyone else enjoyed it. The long story brush for hire outro.
Oh yeah.
Sure, we'll do that. But first, Dave, where can people find you on social media?
Nowhere. I have a Facebook account, and I also have a Facebook account.
Okay, so you're on the Ren 4 Facebook group page then.
Yes,
Right.
that is where I can be found.
Are you also on the Ligonier Legion Wargaming page?
Yes, I am.
That's all you need in Facebook. Nothing else.
That's 2
matters.
places.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Great. Neil, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Dave's favorite social media platform, at Neil LaRocca, NeilLarocca. And you can find me on the Ren 4 Facebook page as well.
Matt, where are you at?
Twitter, Lazenka NTM. On Facebook, I'm on Ren 4, Ligonier Legion, Pittsburgh Steel
City Sigmar.
Steel City Sigmar. Other than that, if you're looking for me on Facebook, I'll find you.
Ooh, okay.
That's a threat.
For me, you can find me at Twitter and Instagram at strengthhammer_ or strengthhammer.net or just strengthhammer. Just search it. It's probably me. But yeah, Matt, will you take us through Brush for Hire story time, please?
Absolutely. As the winter calmly moves on, no snow has been seen this season, but it's coming. You can feel it in your bones. You know it. Even Old Yeller knows it. Of course, you don't call him Old Yeller because that had a sad ending. His name is Pumpkin. Some people say Pumpkin's kind of a girly name for a boy dog, but you tell him to go off. It's not their dog. It's your dog. You love that dog. Time to take that dog for a walk. Now when you're out taking that dog for a walk, see some acorns. But wait a second. This is winter. What are acorns doing out in the winter? Doesn't matter. Brush for Hire. You'll paint your miniatures.